you they increase tax.
Indeed, it's quite an exciting Wednesday evening. This is the Hard Talk Show Hot Seat. We meet you live on AYV television, now channel 33 on Radio 101.7 FM, and similarly so on my Facebook page, AYV News. Where as always you can actually drop your comments, question, and contributions, and as we go along in the program, we'll go through Hot Seat. Now, Hard Talk Show, we focus on several issues. We centers around the development of Sahel. Most of them I tell people say the sides of every other individual is very much important for the growth and development of Sahel. It's your side, my side, and allow the public for judge. So there are three sides to the story. Me, Samuel Ibrahim Kroma, and inside this edition of Hot Seats, they can talk about one of the most topical issues in current Sahel. It has to do with the constitutional amendments bill that is now in Parliament. A lot of people don't say a number of things with regards to the ongoing process and what have you. But inside the studio today, I get two fine gentlemen. We happen for me to get two fine lawyers in the studios. And Steph, people we don't serve within the well of Parliament. One a current member of Parliament, and the one been Dede and Inodede. But nonetheless, I go give them current member. I beg your pardon, two current members of Parliament, excited about so many things. But nonetheless, so it made the conversation one way. I think even me as the host, they wait for a reform then to find gentlemen. Yeah. They are lawyers and at the same time member of Parliament from the two political divides. SLPP and that of the main opposition, APC. Honourable Indolo Givau, we come out from the SLPP. And similarly so, Honourable Osman Timbo, we come out from APC. But for this conversation, I get for ask Sam to introduce yourself and show me how you want to introduce this conversation. But nonetheless, gentlemen, Honourable, my pleasure for getting to the studio this evening.
Thank you. My pleasure for there. Good evening, Leonians.
Honourable Timbo, I'm glad to forget you. I think it's the second time now Hot Seat.
Yeah, it's the second time on Hot Seat, and Fambulemona, good evening. Me and Honourable Osman Timbo, a member of Parliament for the Western Area Urban District.
A lot of issues for be discussed with regards to the Constitutional Amendments Bill of 2025. But the topic for today's conversation, now waiting now the pros and cons of this amendment bill we currently Parliament the debate. I think this is one of the goals of Parliament for looking to bills, go through several stages before get the presidential assent and that of it's been gazetted and it become law within the looks and kind of silence. But Honourable Givau, the topic now, waiting at the pros and cons with regards to the constitutional amendments. A lot of people don't say so much about it, but waiting now you take with regards the current process that is ongoing within Unapalo.
Thank you very much. One of the pros now the fact that we amend the constitution. The fact a government decide for look at the laws where in population don't cry say several things wrong with them and choose you want to look at certain aspect of them and amend them. It's a good thing. Another good thing that the fact that wise that they do them, they consult with members of the public. I mean, if they do them in isolation, then it becomes a cons. But the fact that they consult with members of the public, political parties, it's a pros. Coming to the text of the Constitution, several things when they happen are we country way wrong. For example, if you look at the bill, it will now tell you, say, President not just grab, he sack the Vice President. If President grab, say, they sack your Vice President, Parliament get for look at the sacking of that Vice President, particularly when he lost in party membership,
58
or when he resigned. He not just lost in party membership or he resigned, then automatically the president now use the powers we get at the constitution is sack him. If that may happen now, Parliament when the people's representative go get for look at the situation, debate them and vote on them. If the removal get 2/3 majority, then that person then go remove on a Parliament, both for the president and the vice president. Over the past years, we've been get mixed interpretation about that issue. So this bill they can lay and bear. Another good thing that the bill where I see now the fact that they prevent a political party flag bearer for dinner court very close to elections. This bill talks if a political party flag bearer, like maybe brought on a flag bearer aspirant, assuming he win the APC flag, which I pray for him, and assuming they run the race, and for any reason, if you bring out a case against her, if that case then is criminal John, you get for drop that case there, or you get for put a hold on that case there 1 year to the national election. That then for create a level playing field for that person self not feel belittled or maybe not tight in political freedom for campaign. That also a very good thing now the constitution. Another good thing for me now this amendment, now this PR system. This PR system is not a new clause, not part of the old constitution. We're in section 38. Section 38, 1, make for first past the full post. 38A, make room for PR system. So that they really not a new amendment. This amendment just they say the Edmund Cowan in recommendation for that to be the sole means for elect members of parliament to parliament, make it get inside the constitutional as recommended. So there are several good
but Honourable, even as you mentioned the PR system, many people of the view say it's still not clear with regards the ongoing amendments below the parliament as to what's in the PR system constitutes. Yes, we know say they want to formalize them in the constitution as opposed to what is in the 1991 constitution. But many people say not clear.
Clear in which sense?
It is not properly explained to the people as to whatsoever the case might be, because
we have used it twice. So the people we don't actually partake of and for don't know what it means. We don't use them under Ahmad Jankaba. We don't use them in 2023. So PR system is part of our laws and we don't use them twice. As we see, both of we are products of a PR system in Parliament. So if any Sierra Leonean tell you say it's not clear, then in lack of clarity, not also clear to me.
Honourable, before I bring in Honourable Osman Timbo, there is one aspect where you touch on get for do with people where they go for contest in an election. I mean, more so presidential candidates where they stand trial in a court and what have you. You know, if you say this make room for alleged criminals for coming participate in that kind of office?
No. Because if you're not alleged criminal...
Let's say someone is standing trial for rape. Will you go and let them drop that charge for that 1 year?
No, they're not drop them, then they put a hold. They put a hold on them until after the election. No matter, because if I understand the proposal, no matter the offense where they stand trial for, if a political party don't choose them, they don't give a flag, a flag bearer, then it only but fear that 1 year to the election, you put a hold on that trial until they go into the election. The outcome of the election, after that, then you will still continue for trial.
One problem in the 1991 Constitution gets Honourable Osman Timbo, and the fact it puts plenty power at the hands of the president. I just mentioned one instance wherein you run for the presidency. Give an example, say you stand trial for rape. You win the election. We know say 48-4 make them very clear say you can't bring a case against the president. Should that person where they run for presidency win the election and they been get trial when they run? That trial not be put to an end, they don't win the election, is that the president? You know if you say contravene that particular section there, Honourable Osman.
Before I answer that question there, I want to start with the background of this constitutional review.
Sure.
Because for many people out there, and they wonder, why no one change their lawyer now? I want to make them very clear that the APC political party is not against constitutional amendments. This constitutional amendment process don't start from President Kaba in term. And it became a big topic during President Nkrumah in term, where then set up the Justice Edmund Cowan Constitutional Review Committee, where we culminate in the preparation of white papers, cabinet white paper conclusions. However, people know why would they do this now. After the 2023 elections, we all know that APC being reject the election results, and this being caused for make them being set up a tripartite committee as a product of the Agreement for National Unity. They may get 80 recommendations in that tripartite report there. And by the 80 recommendations, who all sit down agree, APC, SLPP, and the international people, we sit down, we agree. In that day, several of their recommendations then say them for make amendments to the Constitution especially parts that we get for do with elections. So people need to understand, say, this way that they do so, this way they come with, now in line with waiting there the recommendations of the tripartite report. At the same time, they need to understand, say, now two separate things. The holistic review, where they get for car with a new constitution, instead of the road. This one, now waiting there inside the tripartite report, where they recommend, and then they do so. This is not the first one. PPRC get for car with the Leone. ECSL get for car with the Leone. So let people understand, say, this now waiting they agree, we touch and concern the constitution. I can direct you now to almost every clause where they inside this new bill. Are they able to show you the exact resolution in the tripartite report we deal with them?
But the tripartite,
so we need for no say, this not come in a vacuum, not like just sit down, they say what they do them. Something they will inform them. And as a political party, the APC, we been go sit down and say this is not the way how we get electoral justice through this tripartite process. All we want, as much as we welcome the amendments, so we want for say, we just want for let them adhere, let them agree to, waiting them in don't agree to.
The quitting.
Waiting then at the tripartite report, now the foundation of the set. Waiting then at the tripartite report, like how they write and they, let them just put here. Because this document, not to just government document no more. Yes, now they get right for present to parliament. But background day, now some side it born from. Me and you, me and Honourable Gevao, we don't sit down, we agree saying that this, we will take to you. But when Honourable Gevao bring and come to you, it changed things the inside day. You think so go be gladdy? That's the background. Now to your specific question about the president in power and also about the suspension of criminal proceedings 1 year before. This now waiting they agree in the tripartite. APC is not against it. I know they can't debate now whether it's right, whether it's wrong. In fact, for me, in my notes were right. They say public prosecution. What if somebody will bring private criminal summons against you? It is not provided for. But me don't put on my notes say, as a member of parliament, when I'm a member of the legislative committee, I will raise that up for them answer me. Private criminal summons and they are in a public prosecution. They say that for seize them. Yes, you seize public prosecution, but the private prosecution, they, even though the Attorney General get the right for not lead the case, for stop them, but a private criminal summon and he not provide for them. These are things we'll get for look at, for make and fine. But to your point where you say, I see the argument. If somebody is accused of rape, then you can't stop this case 1 year before. Then the person can become president. And you say the president is immune from prosecution. That means that case you don't hold it on well. How can you proceed with the case after the president? This is why these conversations are necessary. But we are representatives of the people. Waiting go to parliament, so I made them call them bills. Parliament is the only body by the constitution we get power for make law. Waiting go to parliament, so na proposals. This way you raise, I sure say, not so you want to go ask this question. The public will be asking this question, and we get for debate them, and we agree. But from the start, the outset, let parliament go change what you want change. But waiting the kind of parliament, let it be waiting we agree on.
Honourable Osman Timbo, I go have for going to several issues we currently do in this review, this amendment process of this bill we currently in the parliament. But before I bring it to them point, and I just want for the record that point. Most of you say everything within inside this amendment bill, now things the way them they agree on. Now that's our party's recommendation. When I think that we both the SLPP, the APC, and a third party, we are the international, bodies them in the part and agree on them. Is that the case?
The most contentious ones, then they inside they. The drafting high for day, the process how them for waka idede. With me na yaso today, for let person also na Osman Timbo in idea and I can with. I carry the bill, I carry the 80 recommendations. Plenty people hear about 80 recommendations, they about tripartite. But I bet say most 99.9% of this country including lawyers, including politicians, parliamentarians, including ministers of government, they're not one day either. They don't even understand what's in the inside.
I don't listen to lawyers them, constitutional lawyers them, senior lawyers them within the Republic of Sierra Leone. We don't raise a lot of contention with regards to the amendment process. One of which people question the timeliness of the amendment process. More so, where majority of the issues in the amendment process centers on election, where issues when are entrenched sections within the Constitution, none of them is being brought up. Say, for instance, 2 and 3, Chapter 2 and that of 3, where it touch on human rights among other things. People they wonder, lawyers them, they wonder why most of the issues are on election. Is it something? Is it that there is something fishy about elections issues aside? Because these are some of the mindset many Australians don't get over time. Say always elections issues now one we get contention. I remember in 2007, remember in 2018, and that of 2023, when one party lost, another party they bring up issue. Isn't that the same thing we just reinvent the wheel with regards the same issues and we get for the with elections?
So one thing we are glad for is the fact that when you get honest politicians in the studio, the public they understand. My brother here, since where this argument starts, this is not the first time I don't come with a Sierra Leonean. We actually don't lay the issues bare for Sierra Leoneans and for understand. What are the issues? One, this bill did not come from the sky. The APC and SLPP, now they sit down, international partners, they agree on most of the things that we did it. From an argument, some of the issues we go get, I don't follow them in the press conference, and maybe now the wordings with the inside the draft bill may not be what we lawyers call ipsissima verba, what is the inside the tripartite. But the very idea, the very issues, let's say issues of PR, issues of presidential threshold, issues of National Electoral Commission and their name, issues of suspension of prosecution, all of these issues, not issues where one political party, when an SLPP just grab it put on there for our smart Sierra Leoneans or for our smart APC. They have been discussed and consultations had taken place, and when Sierra Leoneans they say they not consult them. Like my brother say, the National Unity Agreement come out of the quest say there were allegations that elections were not free, fair, and transparent. Then we get the national agreement, okay? Out of which we get the tripartite committee, okay? And this tripartite committee get 80 recommendations. Some of them recommendations, now to your question, they are time bound. My colleague will tell you, say, there are certain laws where you not go pass them and make it take effect towards elections. Let's say 12 months towards elections. So let's say a clause we get for deal with presidential threshold. You don't go past that particular provision in November 2027, when election they go in 2028. Timeline, international instruments, and we don't catch up with you. So if you want for actually put that particular clause as agreed upon that the tripartite, assuming without conceding that the argument correct, if you actually take as it been done at the tripartite, you put under the draft bill, you can only pass her now. Because if you don't pass her now, time go catch up with them. And again, another thing where we all get for know, like my brother say, we still get the holistic review of the
But why review the Constitution, partially? Why review half part and wait for another part after the
like
elections and what have you, Honourable?
Some clauses then they now wait inside this bill. If you wait, you say they go do in 2026, we get for go into referendum. If you pass them together holistically, then laws them not go down able affect the 2028 election. We go down prevent the intention of the tripartite committee. We for some of their agreement and for take them, you make them part of the law and may they affect the next election. So hence there is every reason for may they come before the holistic constitutional review process.
If I may,
Yes,
without asking me any question, and this is the problem again. I don't hear very senior lawyers, including journalists, confusing this, including politicians confusing this. They're confusing the holistic report or the holistic review of the Constitution with this. The question, why now? Do you know as a journalist, or even the lawyers where they say this, that the tripartite report gets a timeline where it say by so and so term, therefore don't do this, therefore don't do that, therefore don't do that. When the Attorney General go parliaments during pre-ledge,
You know, one person don't raise concerns.
It talks
the tripartite reports the recommendations for making come into fission. There's a snail pace with regards to, you know, one person don't raise that concern.
Absolutely.
You know,
Not to-
things
not to
that
just-
nothing that affect them this way, they see so.
there's a timeline. Like I said, there's an agreement. This review not come out in space, like I call them. Also space he come out. It different from the whole Constitution. Some man say no to now. But we don't go sit down. The Attorney General at the pre-ledge said this bill for don't come from last year. And in the report, with the timeline, it shows that by last year, therefore don't do the amendments here. So. The one where PPRC for car with, instead they come. The one where ECS for car with the amendments of the Political Parties Act, instead they come. All of these things, they're coming. But many lawyers and people where they can face the public, including journalists, they don't make much effort for understand this. I hear somebody they tell this morning, one of the radio stations, they praise a lawyer to the point, you know, one day you hear anybody honest. Now the best this, because then self not understand. This is where the professionalism come in. Asking questions where you say don't find out about. Has anybody read the tripartite report? Has anybody seen the timeline? But again, it behoves us, the government, the information ministry, the APC's publicity department, the SLPP's publicity department, including the media, for me to inform the public about this all-important process where they happen. Salon a place where person guy talk, he go. He left all thing. And that is why we're where we are. We're not there against. We are not saying this thing is not even timely. We are not saying that. Whether it's timely or not timely, now this we don't agree. Low move with them. If any change they happen, let Parliament go change them, because a Parliament, no more by the Constitution, get power for change things.
Honourable Osman Timbo,
make law.
Honourable Osman Timbo, aside from you being a member of Parliament, you similarly so want the contest for the flag bearership of your party, the APC party, and there is one of the sections in this amendment bill again for do with the threshold. For win an election, I can't say particularly so for the presidency, was same part of the tripartite recommendation. And
So,
explain to the public and how you think how nationalistic is that section.
I want to make this disclaimer before I say anything. Today, I sit on here. I not sit down as an intending presidential flag bearer aspirant. I'm not here for that. I'm here as a member of Parliament representing the Western Area Urban District, or the people of the Western Area Urban District. And now to your specific question, yes.
So what does that mean?
No, so I'm not talk as a
I'm not saying you talk, I know definitely, but I just draw a reference.
I agree. So I just say, whatever I say, yeah, no to that.
Absolutely.
And that is secondary to waiting to happen now, the importance of this constitutional review.
Good.
For me, I put this beyond and above the constitutional review process.
So now, Honourable Timbo, explain to the public, let the public understand that aspect.
And I want to go to the specific question about threshold. Like I tell you, I've been documentally posting or say at the top from the air. This thing where they talk about the reduction of the presidential threshold, people need to understand. Inside the 1991 Constitution, for the president win election at the first ballot, you get 55% of the valid votes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Then, in this new one, this new bill where they carry, it don't change. But it not change like I would say from the vacuum, from the air. The one that we sit up on tripartite process, they say this 55% high, and me, I don't even agree say 55% high. I'll tell you why before I come to this other part. 8 million people or more in the salon, not so. Of that 8 million in 2023, now 3.2 million people that then vote. That is less than 35% of the population or 40% of the population.
Then after your party tell people not for register.
For vote?
No,
two different things. You see, you're a journalist again. You're confusing census and you're confusing
No, I'm not talking of
election
census. I'm talking of election registration.
No,
because I think that was what
party
you're talking
actually ask people for register.
Okay.
In fact, when they want to stop people for register, and they say they forget NACRA paper. Remember that problem? They work out civil registration, when plenty will not register. My point here is about 3.2 million people vote. That's less than 50% of the population forced on any vote. When you go to the election results, for make President Bill get 56%, about 1.5 million people are then vote for her. 1.5. Dr. Samora Kamara then gave him about 800 and something thousand people.
That's what you get.
Nine then gave him.
That's what you get.
We're challenging the result. We're not satisfied with that. We don't think it's transparent. You don't ever see the result. You don't see the disaggregated result. But let's not go to that. My point here is, if 1.5 million people and then vote for you for the get mandate, and then have 56%, do you think you have the mandate of the majority of the people? And in a democracy, they say, the vote of the majority, now for carry the day. 1.5, now vote for you of population of 8 million. They give rough numbers, now vote for you, and that's 56%. But that's apart. Then 2 years we go sit down. The tripartite people will go sit down. Then look at that and say, because other countries don't move away from this 55%, they say 50%, look, make them 50% plus 1 vote for let you win, plus 25% vote in half of the districts. I read for you waiting recommendation 53 say. Mm-hmm. It's nice inside the tripartite, not to me talker.
But Osman Timbo, most of these things the way they bring out, these are things where many people say go on for blame you because one part of the people will be understand these documents, not be making known to the public in terms of the content of these documents.
Which document?
Tripartite recommendation documents.
How you mean, I mean?
Because in many of the conversations where you don't get most of the issues that they come out.
Honourable Osman Timbo. Let's focus on this.
Good.
No attack me for things we go open a Pandora's box.
I not attack you.
Because these are things where they're not truthful. Say I go into conversations, they might not even make people know. Am I the publicity secretary of the APC?
But you've championed most of these issues many times.
No, never. In fact, I was Deputy Secretary General, meaning I was only writing within the APC.
Okay.
No go no side.
No, so quickly.
So who side this team born? Like I said, this threshold, recommendation 53 of the tripartite report. I read them for you, yeah? It said that is a candidate can only be elected on the first round if they, A, obtain 50% plus 1 vote of the total valid votes cast nationally, and B, obtain 25% of the total valid votes cast in each district in at least half of the districts of Sierra Leone. A Creole program this. I talk in Creole. It's a person they win presidential election for the first ballot. You don't say they get run off. Yeah. And I think people understand the first turn in the vote. If the person gets 50%, half of all my way votes, valid votes, plus 1, that person they win. And also if I get 25%, now half of the 16 districts they will get. 9 days inside tripartite where they agree. 3 people then sit down and agree. Look what's in the inside. What's in the right? A person shall not be declared elected as president of Sierra Leone unless at the presidential election he obtains 1, simple majority of the total valid votes cast throughout Sierra Leone, 2, a minimum 20% of the total valid votes cast in at least 2/3 of the districts of Sierra Leone. What's indifferent? 1. First, then say A say 50% plus 1. 9 days inside tripartite. Not also. Yeah, then use the word simple majority. Simple majority where plenty people, including lawyers, don't misunderstand. They don't misinform the public about this. Simple majority is different from 50% plus one. Let's tell you it's not simple majority. Let's tell you it's not simple majority.
Inform the public, Honourable Osman.
I will tell the public it's not simple majority. Before you go to because let them understand. Let this be clear. But the more you obstruct me, the more you confuse
because the explanation and that of the explanation from the AG with regards to are absolutely two different things.
Not to me they explain. Now what you read now, yeah.
Because the explanation of the AG are absolutely two different things.
But just waiting the AG one for explain. I don't tell you say not to opinion at the Guinea, not to opinion. These are facts. Not to me right time. I wasn't part of the tripartite process at all. Now waiting and bring to me. To we in the parliament, now they read so versus waiting APC, SLPP, and the international community go sit down and agree. So waiting they don't do now. You tell me whether this is in good faith then do them or not. Simple majority. Now 3 contests. You get 40%. Me get 30%. Osman Timbo.
No, 30%. So you get 8, this get 9, this get 5.
No, then they go confused. Now percent will talk about now because now 50% will talk about. You get 40%. Yeah? Waiting left, now 60%. Me get 30%. Honourable give out get 30%. You know what this mean? By simple majority, means say you win. You don't need 50% say for you win again. That 40% where you get, if Honourable give out get 39%, me get 21%, now you win. If you also get 20%, remember they may say these are the first part first. So you don't see say 50% plus one who agree, everything they can put here different. The second part, then say 25% now 50% of the district. 16 districts, half of them are 8. So if you get 25%, and the reason behind this, now for like one person go get all the votes. For instance, at the southeast, now 7 districts, they say I don't win. So for you win, you need to forget votes. Now another districts at the north, northwest, and western area. APC self no go win from just the strongholds without the no go and go get votes at the southeast. So it shows inclusivity in the election. I made them put on that way. So what thing changed now? You remember I read for you in tripartite say 25%. 25% plus 50% of the district. Like don't then you ask me now.
Then quickly.
Then, here is say minimum of 20% in at least 2/3. So they don't change from 25 to 20. Then they don't change from half, when are 50% of districts, to 2/3. 2/3 of 16 districts are 10. 10 districts. And you don't reduce them. In the last election, SLPP gave themselves over 20% in 13 of the 16 districts. Ask you a question that we want to ask. I hope people understand now.
Honourable Osman Timbo, we are at a point where we don't hear a lot of debates. Honourable Givar, come to you, please. We're at a point where we don't hear a lot of debates with regards, division of districts and addition. Let's say addition of 2 districts when Panguma and Bandajuma districts. Let me say plus minus before elections, same come to fusion. We go make now it is 60 go 18 districts. Is this a worrying situation for you, particularly come out the APC more so way then 2 new districts are we probably then create now an area where many Sierra will consider the stronghold of the ruling SLPP.
It is a worrying situation not just for APC. It's supposed to be a worrying situation for Sierra Leone. When I've been in the Go School, we had about 12 districts, right? Today we get 16. SLPP come and add Panguma and Bandajuma, it go 18. When APC come, or other party come, because how do they create districts? Are the president, the local government minister, and the minister of finance or minister of development, and the creator. Before we come here in 10 years, we get 25 districts. People use this for political reasons, all sides. All the creation of districts and the way how they create them districts here. Politicians, I know they say SLPPO, I only say APC, politicians, and they use them for score political goals. It is not good. The distance between Panguma and between Bo and Pujao, who's the one for create this Bandajuma? The Bandajuma or Panguma the one for create?
Not in two.
One of them for the in between yonder. It is about 15 minutes from one to the other. Whereas if you compare the one with the just Falaba district gets almost a quarter of the entire landmass of Salon. So there was justification because the distance between them two been too wide. But now we create, I don't want to go into the pros and cons of explaining why they create Karine, Falaba. No, I don't want to go to that. Or creating new regions. Because like I say, people do it for many reasons beyond development. And the danger is not about APC, they afraid say this will happen. It will continue. Then say APC pull 2 MPs of SLPP. When they can pull 10, you know what will happen next?
Honourable Gevao.
One person they boss the other person in the eye, the other one can boss the other person in the eye. It's bad.
Honourable Gevao, I believe many Sierra in contention with the 1991 constitution and the fact say, they believe say, it puts plenty power at the hands of the presidency, supreme executive authority. We get every other power. And as per this current review process, we see add more power at the hands of the president rather than series for ensure say power come to the people. Constitution feel like a close way to give the ordinary man. Now the ordinary man for fit and also one person, Honourable Gevao. You don't hear it from so much way Honourable Osman Timbo don't talk, more so with regards to the threshold that is being set. How worrying the situation be more so for the politicians?
I go throw some light on some of the issues that we don't raise. So let's talk about the creation of districts. President Ernest Kroma, I not think say he just grab a create districts in vacuum. What in the go on as Sierra Leone, what you call the amalgamation of districts. All of them districts the way President Kroma can create na the north, we not create na the south and the east. These are districts where we not exist prior to today. So let's say Karine district, for example, let's say Falaba district, from the information of de-amalgamation, okay? Even with chiefdoms, any side we then create where you see a chiefdom now, that chiefdom may not exist once, but because of reasons, they may not take and then blend them together with another chiefdom, they make them one. So when this de-amalgamation idea came, the APC government go to the north and de-amalgamate Karine and Falaba, making them districts on their own, as they had been before. And one thing I want to make the populace understand that for de-amalgamate a district, it's not informed by distance. If it be not once exist in the law books, okay, that Brookfields don't be districts, and the idea don't come for pull Brookfields now come on from Central, then you not get for be informed again by distance. By the geography of the country, Panguma may not always be a district, Bandajuma may not always be a district. So they don't just create them now, go back into the archives of Sierra Leone. So what in this government they do is just a continuity or a uniformity of government policy where APC don't start. They don't de-amalgamate now the north. It is but
so
fair, that the other areas we don't left, which we don't exist as district before, let them get their independence as the others have. Simple as that. So it's not a situation we say they just want to sit down and say, well, they can't cut more districts middle. We'll get more district 1, more district 2. You don't see them go create a new district Nabo because they're not be done amalgamate, they're not be done take 2 districts Nabo, then put them together. You see them go na Kenima, then go na Kailahu, because this is what has existed before. So it's not informed by distance. Distance not only informal. Okay? So, and if doing that sits well with the law, it's not illegal, what prevents any government from doing it? What do you mean prevent APC for the amalgamate Badajuma and Panguma where it was legal? What do you prevent President Bio's led government for the amalgamate this area where it is legal? So I always can tell people what is wrong in the nation that when you act ultra vires the constitution, you go outside the limit where the constitution give you. But this president don't know they do anything of the sort. It just they work within the ambit of the law. Okay. To a point as to the text of the tripartite and the text of the bill, I'm glad we are two that are brilliant members of parliament. We don't agree, say, waiting on council before we na a proposal. APC gets some of the best MPs there, that's Sierra Leone, brilliant debaters. In the interest of the nation, if for heaven's sake, in our debate, it comes out glaringly that what is in the tripartite is quite different from what is in the draft bill, honestly, a good number of SLPPers, we agree with APC, and then we go draft that act there just for suit Sierra Leone, because the object is Sierra Leone.
Honourable, with that being said, you know, feel say the current process now one way look self-serving, more so in, you know, self-political serving, more so in the lens of the ordinary man.
You know, self-serving, you don't really say this is a process where parties that agree. Because when you say self, it means one person. But this is a process who say APC, the political process, the major political players today in Sierra Leone, the APC and SLPP, that we the parliament. And when we allege say APC don't thief the election, but because of we population, we win, APC themselves allege say SLPP don't play fair in the election, they give back to the National Unity Agreement and the tripartite. And when those two documents here come together, the tripartite give back to 8 recommendations, and the tripartite implementation is time bound. It is only but fair that they take their recommendations we get for do with time, put them in the bill now, and come with them before we vet them and see if we can pass them into law. So we are not being self-serving, because when you say self is one, but this is a situation, and even the people where the umpires with democracy, they have been part of the tripartite. So the idea, the issues are all common. Common to APC, common to SLPP, common to the good of Sierra Leone. Now make they agree on them, and you see that. As to the text, I can't confirm, I can't deny. I wasn't in the tripartite. All I can say is, let us look at the bill in Parliament and see if the ideas are good. We pass them, making the necessary amendments at committee stage to suit, democracy in Sierra Leone. And there's this other thing where our people understand. We plenty lawyers and members of parliament, they confuse. In this bill, I agree say we get 2 types of clauses. We get the non-entrenched clauses, and we get 2 clauses when are entrenched clauses, when are section 85 and section 87. Assuming section 85 and section 87 not be dead at this bill, Parliament in passing that bill not the 2/3 majority. Okay? Because this is very important. Assuming there was no entrenched clause in that bill, in passing that bill, you go by collection of voice, and if somebody stand by on an SO, you go for a vote, and in the vote, you go get simple majority. But because there is an entrenched clause, where by the Constitution, in amending the entrenched clause, you need 2/3 majority at both the second reading and the third reading. Okay? If we go with them the way it is, definitely, for may it pass, we will get 2/3 majority of members members of parliament.
And so I will ask a question. Honourable, this don't bring many worries now, plenty people. You're a member of parliament, and at the same time, you're a lawyer. Many people don't they bring up arguments, say, this is the first time with the Attorney General, the table, a bill of such nature, we get entrenched clauses in them, without seen ways for first, that the first time in the table, the bill get entrenched clauses in them, and later promise then go come back for a plebiscite or perhaps even a referendum. One would remember say, for the mere fact to get entrenched clause, a referendum should have been done on same before it ever could have happened at Parliament.
No, you see, when you pass bill, it gets stages, okay?
I know say yet.
Like now,
7 stages.
Even when an entrenched clause, assuming they come with the entire constitution, entrenched and non-entrenched clause, assuming we go by the argument, say, may we do the constitutional review holistically. You understand? The same process where this they go through, now the same process they go through.
Now the same the entrenched and non-entrenched go through.
Yes. Okay. If they're non-entrenched, there is no entrenched at all. You understand? You go through first reading, second reading, you go to committee stage, and then you go to third reading, you pass them into law. Okay? But when you get entrenched clause, you go to first reading, second reading. At second reading, the Constitution, they make provision before it proceeds to the third reading.
But was that the case with this one?
Well, that's the case. That is the case because this one gets 2 provisions that were in an entrenched clause. Okay? So, what I'm trying to say here is for when you go to referendum, there has to be a clause that is an entrenched clause for which the Constitution says before you pass them, after the third reading, if you get 2/3 majority, you now get to go back to the parliament, to the public, by way of a referendum, for make them go vote on the question of yes or no. If the yes surpass the no, then the Constitution don't pass. Then you go now come back and pass them into law. Okay? That is if you go to referendum and the referendum succeeds.
Absolutely.
But if the referendum fails, then definitely it meets a bottleneck.
We don't get a lot of messages now with Facebook page, but Honourable, when also respond to same, we see a provision also in this new amendment bill. We now make provision for independent candidates for contest in presidential elections. What in this mean at this particular moment? I'll start off with you, Honourable Timbo.
I beg you because I might not have time to answer this specific question.
Quick, yeah.
I've had a lot of things where I think I need to make very clear. Because if we do not, it will be dangerous. Because people have said it. With all due respect to Honourable Gevao, they say if there's no entrenched clause in this, you don't need 2/3 for passing. What you hold I ask for the Constitution of Sierra Leone 1991, when I would use. Section 108, subsection 1C, provide waiting for happen. Now, 108, get for talk about who you want for alter the Constitution. Whether it's entrenched clause or no entrenched clause. You talk what he say. B, not to C, Sef. No, subsection 108, subsection 2, paragraph B. I will read what he say. A bill for an act of parliament under this section, under section 108 for amend the Constitution, shall not be passed by parliament unless B. I will read A for people to understand. Before the first reading of the bill in parliament, the text of the bill is published in at least 2 issues of the Gazette. And I've already published on our Gazette 2 term. Then they can find out whether it was actually published in the Gazette because we pigeonholes in the parliament. Every Gazette where government they pass, they take those Gazettes to us in parliament, but we not see it. That's the first problem. That's the first procedural step. Publication in 2 issues of the Gazette, 9 days apart. That's 10821. A. B. The bill is supported on the second and third readings. Second and third readings, and 2 readings, so by the votes of not less than 2/3 of the members of parliament. It's clear. There's no point where you amend a one word, one letter, now this constitution, whether it's entrenched or not entrenched, for make it pass 2/3. Waiting for do entrenched clause. Now in the inside 108 subsection 3. If you amend an entrenched clause, after Parliament don't do this 2/3 vote, you don't get them. Before they send this bill to the President for an assent, because that's the final stage where you talk about the 7 stages. Before he go to President, after Parliament don't pass them, the form where Parliament pass them in, then they can't go to the people for a referendum. The referendum, now the people will vote, now the nation, that 3.2 or more people will vote, or will register for vote. And then for go vote back on this constitution, and 50% of them for vote yes. If they vote yes, you know they can Parliament again. No. If they go to the President for the President sign. This now in right in black and white.
Honourable Osman Timbo, is that you think that a violation of 1087 of the Constitution? You think the actual name of this amendment bill not been there? Na see una no say and we been in that page, you know? Because
what you talk?
108 they talk about they talk say the
108 big or what you talk about?
187, sir. Express time of the titles of the bill. Check 187, please. Of the Constitution where you land. The title of the bill is that been the problem. Say the actual title will not be say na amendment something they come or whatsoever na the case. You don't think that I don't miss them whatsoever.
Well, I think that you miss them. We're not talking about the name or the title.
No, but
no, we're not got no problem. There's no problem with the title. The bill would call on Constitution of Sierra Leone Amendment Act 2025. There's no problem under Section 1087. No problem. What you first mentioned. Now, Section 1082, Section 108, subsection 2, paragraph A. Now, he say, if you are a reader now, you read them. He say, for publish the bill, this document, and for put on 2 terms inside Gazette. Governments, they publish through Gazette. And this Gazette, the first one...
that's not be happened from your session.
I not say so. I say, we are finding out. Because Honourable Gevao know, me know, all members of Parliament know. Every gazette where they pass in this country, just like when they sack people, when they appoint people, all they name them, then they put on a gazette, then can't go Parliament, not the civil service. Trademarks, whatever then they do with government, they publish, and they can't go Parliament. Yaso, he say, therefore publish on 2 terms, like how they publish the APC rules and regulations for the elections. Then put on a way PPRC publish, not also. Then put on a gazette. Gazette's not the way how government they publish. So if they not do this first one, for publish na the gazette, we not see, ask Honourable Gevao, sometimes see an young pigeonhole, sometimes they pull on a we own. Now 2 gazettes, and for publish on 2, provided that not less than 9 days shall elapse between the first publication of the bill in the Gazette and the second publication. Now to the independent candidate's business. This also a creature on a creation of the tripartite recommendation. He did it. So for allow independent candidates them also for come and contest. He also said the rules and regulations regarding or surrounding how this for happen, therefore make them in separate rules. So not to something we knew, not to something we did against. Me as a member of parliament where they represent APC, he as a member of parliament where they represent SLPP, representing the positions of our parties. If we 2 parties don't go sit down and agree, I know they can't enter you say no, I don't want them. Even if my personal opinion is against that. So independent candidates was agreed, and we accept them, and then if we put the rules for that.
Honourable Gevao, we dare about for wrap off this segment of hot seats, but your colleague, honourable member and a lawyer, they contradict some aspects of...
That's the beauty of the law. He holds his view
interpretation,
in respect of interpreting Section 108 that says this section. It did not say this constitution. It says this section, referring to Section 108, which refers to entrenched clauses. No. That's your own view. So my own view is that if the clause is not entrenched,
I'm giving it to you.
yes,
I'm giving
my
it to
own
you.
view is I've read it over and over before I am making this position. My own view and opinion is if the clause is not entrenched, you don't need a 2/3 majority. Yes. If the clause is entrenched, you need 2/3 majority plus a referendum.
Wow.
Yes, that's my own interpretation. The beauty is the only institution that is charged with the responsibility to interpret that constitution correctly or wrongly is the Supreme Court. Okay? I hold in to the word this section and to the word this constitution, the definite article and the suffix. Okay? And now, the definite article is this section, which is the section referring to entrenched clauses. Okay? I am making reference to the Constitution. But be that as it may, we are in a process that might as well lead to the Supreme Court for interpretations. So I have consulted just as he has consulted. I cannot agree with his position here. Neither is he going to agree with my own position here. He holds his view, I hold my view.
One of the problems with the 1991 Constitution, the fact is we don't see many politicians don't want to go to Supreme Court for interpretation of the wordings of the Constitution. Are we ushering in a similar situation wherein people get for the go to Supreme Court back for understand this amendment bill? We are no say Parliament. If we not pass everything there or not pass everything, we will get similar something because you don't start from here.
We just have to be honest and not play politics on this. Section 108, even the side note, it writes on the alteration of this constitution. So the 108 constitution, now this section, this 108, and talk about how you for amend them. Whether on one clause, whether on an entrenched clause, whether on one letter, this 108, this section 108, now talk about how you for do them. It talk about two things. It talk about one from section 1, from subsection 2. Now talk about how you just amend anything inside. Subsection 3, now talk about how you amend entrenched clause. Now two things inside 108. 108 now in deal with how you amend anything inside this 108 book. 108.2 now how you amend one word. 108.3 now they talk about how you amend entrenched clause. I just want to make that clear. This is not get no legal interpretation. The English language is plain. Anybody want for bring an argument on this, now because you want to play politics with this document. Nothing not confusing. I can give you. Let you read that for yourself. Alteration of this constitution.
Interestingly, the conversation don't surpass the actual time for wrap of this segment. But as we end this particular one, Honourable Osman Timbo and Honourable Givao. Honourable Givao, in just a few words, you think the reforms here, because it seems more like a reform, a review of the constitution. You think them reforms here will help for make the country get or of course usher in an electoral architecture we go work for everybody rather than for selected few?
In the conviction of APC, SLPP, and with moral guarantors, yes. Because now in their conviction they agree on their recommendations and we did it. We in don't say the framework, the idea, everything is there. Now the text, in the challenge. So in the idea of, in the minds of APC, SLPP, and with moral guarantors, you understand? Yes, if we pass their ideas, their frameworks, with the inside under, I believe say it will usher in a fresh breath in with democracy.
Honourable Osman, but the same question go to you. Think the reforms here go help for amend the problems so don't they get over time with elections and help silent forget a situation wherein it will be one way everybody could benefit rather than the selected few.
I totally agree with what Honourable Givao say, but it's supposed to go beyond that. This country is not made up of APC, SLPP. So now made the conversation on the constitution really succeed government. Supposed to be broader. What we don't do today, na tip of the iceberg, we just touch them. There are many things we will not do it. May I even feel like the conversations on this for be bigger than any, if I take president over, any other radio or television conversation. We for take them across the entire nation for let the people understand. It is not APC, it is not SLPP. We're not enough, just the APC and SLPP, for just decide for this nation, for especially when it comes to constitution. We don't say constitution belongs to the people. You say not a close with the people that you make for the people. So the people then get this document. 1991 constitution has been alive for 35 years. You see how many governments don't pass? From the first or second republic who we get, at the sixth republic we dey pass, or the sixth session of the second republic, I mean. Now they we did so. Six sessions and 6 different parliaments don't come. 6 different administrations don't pass. So constitutions are not made for now. They're made for the long term. So this conversation for go beyond just a tripartite, for go beyond APC and SLPP. So yes, on the one hand, now this will not agree and I make them bring and come. They have to do it in good faith. Whatever they inside they, for they in line with the tripartite. Now though they begin first.
With that being said, I want to say plain thank you to you, Honourable Osman Timbo and Seth, Honourable Indulu Moyogivaun. A pleasure for getting out of the studio this evening. And, you know, I believe many Serenians then go on for believe say, you know, this review process na a sample for the continuity of governance, because we see this review don't start way back since the days of since after Desmond Kawan, President Kaba, and Anis Bai Kuruma, and that of President retired Julius Madabe. And these are some of the recommendations of the TRC, because let me just say the constitution are one way. Now, one of the problems that we led to asylum in that particular moment. But nonetheless, I say again, plenty thank you to Ona for the time for the part of this program this evening, and plenty thank you also to with viewers and listeners. The page has been hot, a lot of messages, but we not get time for it, and we apologize. But a repeat of this program they come on our way on Saturday at exactly 3 o'clock. Till we meet again for another edition of the Hot Seat program. Mina Samuel Ibrahim Kuromasi. Get yourself a wonderful evening. Bye bye.
APC, we dey ready for change. The youngest na the whole. We future go arrange, che.